Hey, we're coming to you from a rather unusual place today. It's Holy Week now, and I'm sure there's a reason that we're in here, something having to do with Holy Week, right?
Right.
So, I don't know, part of the Holy Week story that has to do with this? Why don't you read that first Bible verse? Let's see what it says.
All right. Pilate said to them, "Then what shall I do with Jesus who is called Christ?" They all said, "Let him be crucified." And he said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified." So when Pilate saw that he was gaining nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves."
So, washing his hands. Pilate washed his hands. Kind of like with, I'm sure he didn't have Suave soap, but he washed his hands to say, it's not my fault, even though he was in charge. Um, and it's hard to say that any of us is not at fault in this. It's really all of our faults that Jesus had to go through this, and he kept going through this. And he also went on to the next stuff, like in the next Bible verse.
And twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on his head and put a reed in his right hand. And kneeling before him, they mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!"
And so for this one, the crown of thorns, we do have, although not usually in the shower, we do have thorns. And these are pretty sharp because I, of course, poked myself when I was getting them off of the bush today. And this is where it'd be really good to do some investigation of what really were the thorns like. What was it really like for Jesus to go through this? And I've seen a lot of pictures of thorns and the crown of thorns for Jesus. Some of them make the thorns look little, like this. Others make them look really big. And I'm guessing that, knowing what they were trying to do to Jesus, they were really big. So as you start Holy Week, think about these things that Jesus has gone through and why he went through them. And he did it all because of his love for you, for all of us, that he wanted your sins to go away, to be forgiven. So as we start Holy Week, just think about those things.